It feels like it has been forever and a day. It honestly has been a while since I've done a Thoughtful Thursday. But I wanted to get up here and do something because I definitely have missed y'all. Hopefully y'all have missed me. Oh my God, so much has happened, so much has changed. I just started school. I'm still adjusting to my new move and everything. So it definitely has been a lot. I definitely have been through some things. This last week has been very difficult for me. So I wanted to get up here and kind of speak about like the importance of your mental health. I really feel like it's very important. Like people that know me personally, that know my story, my friends, things like that, like they know that I've dealt with depression and things like that. So I just really wanted to talk about the importance of your mental health. And I know it's definitely a hot topic because we are definitely still dealing with the pandemic. Everyone's lives have changed tremendously. Things that were considered normal are now, not normal. We're having to adjust to a new normal. I honestly feel like things may not ever go back to normal or our, usual normal, the way that we feel like it should be. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and hit on this topic because last week for me was very hard. It was very hard mentally, like very hard mentally. But before I get into it, I just want to say, hey y'all, I miss y'all. I miss y'all. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's been a minute since I've been up here, but I definitely am going to start bringing back more content. So yeah, go ahead and hit that like button if you like this video. Go ahead and share it with someone that you feel like may benefit from it, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. So yeah, this is honestly y'all off the dome. Like I usually prepare for things like this and I've thought about it. But I didn't really, sit down and prepare like I usually do. I usually have like a few segments and things like that. But I just really wanted this to be, I guess, more so raw because I didn't really prepare for it, and it's just definitely something that I have been dealing with. So like I said, like I have dealt with depression in the past. And it was something that I had definitely been delivered from. Anybody that, is in church, I am in church. I love God. I believe, in the Spirit of God. I believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe in spirits, demons, all that. So I believe in that stuff. And I had my own personal experience that allowed me to be delivered from depression. So yeah, many people that know me, they know that story, but I don't want to get too deep on y'all because I know that's not everybody's thing. That's just my, experience and what I had went through. But the reason that I wanted to talk about the importance of mental health is because I really think it's very important, especially with the times that we are in right now, to definitely have a safe space to vent or to talk through your problems. For me, I have a therapist. And I got my therapist back in, oh God, before I moved here. Because before, when I say here, I moved from Virginia and now I'm in El Paso, Texas. My husband is in the military, so we had to make that move. He got stationed here. So it was like right before that move, I came in June. So I think I may have started with her maybe in like the end of July, maybe beginning of June. And I wanted to get a therapist because I was struggling with the move a lot. I was very anxious. I was definitely emotional. It was definitely emotional for me because, I'm 25 right now and I've spent 25 years of my life in Virginia. Like my entire family is in Virginia. I grew up in Virginia. I may have moved around, in the Hampton Roads, because I'm from the Hampton Roads area. I may have moved around, I've stayed in Chesapeake, I've stayed in Portsmouth. Majority of my life I was in Portsmouth, but I've stayed in Chesapeake, Newport News, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach. So I moved around in that area, but for the most part, I never have lived outside of Virginia. So for me, it was definitely emotional. It was a lot of emotions that I had to work through. The fact that I'm leaving my family, my parents, my mom and my dad. We are close. Like definitely, I talked to my parents often. I would see my parents every single day. So it was just kind of like going from that to not being able to see them. Like, of course, talk to them over video chat, whatever, but not to be able to just hop in my car and be like, oh, I'm about to go to my mom's house. I'm about to go see my mom and my dad. Like, that was major for me. Like, and then I have a son. Jace, he was 2 at the time that we moved. He turned 3 while we were here, but he was 2. And then just thinking about, finding daycare for him, trying to find, some place that's good enough for him to go to daycare, like, to transition him. He would be with my mom almost every single day. So, like, transitioning him from seeing his Mimi and seeing his granddad to now being here. And it's like, okay, trying to explain to him, well, we can't just hop in the car and go see Mimi and Granddad like we used to. So it was definitely a lot. And then, of course, the support system that I had. My parents helped me a lot in my life in general. And then even when I had Jace, they spoiled him. I mean, it used to get on my nerves, but they were definitely like a great support system for me, being a mom and everything. So it was just so many things that were changing and that we're going to change, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And then on top of that, I was going through my own thing, like within myself. So it was just so many things going on. And I just felt like, you know what, Kira, it's time for you to talk to somebody. And then it wasn't like, I wasn't depressed or anything like that. It wasn't nothing major, but I just needed to talk through my feelings. I needed somebody to talk to through my feelings with. So I found her. I think it was on Therapy for Black Girls, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and see what the website was, but it was a website to that extent. And my therapist is Black. I really didn't have honestly, I didn't have a preference. I wouldn't mind, if I did have a therapist that was not Black. But I don't know. I guess just in this instance, I wanted, a Black therapist. So, I mean, either way, it don't matter to me. I don't really have a preference. But yeah. So I've been doing therapy with her probably from like June, July, up until now. So yeah, it's been going very well. I know a lot of people go to therapy for certain things. Some people deal with depression. Some people deal with anxiety. There are some people that have personality disorders. There are some people that have, other disorders. They're bipolar. They have schizophrenia. Like, there are different things that people go and seek therapy for because they need help. And I'm an advocate, for mental health, especially in the Black community, because I just feel like that as Black people, and I've said this before, as Black people, we just have a tendency to kind of tough things out, and we just tough it out. And then on the inside, to me, it's just kind of like we're dying on the inside and we're drained because we're trying to hold it together with all of the things that we have to deal and cope with. And we don't necessarily have a place where we can express those feelings and emotions in a proper way. And I know there was a huge stigma around therapy, where people felt like therapy was weak. I know definitely in the Black community, it was kind of like, you're not going to go and tell my business. What goes on in this house stays in this house. If you go to therapy, then that means you're crazy. That means something is wrong with you. And all of those things kind of, they kind of influenced us to not want to seek therapy because we felt like, that was for white people, that was what white people do. They go sit down on somebody's couch and they talk to people, but you don't have to do that. Oh, you'll be all right. Just tough it out. Just pray about it. Just, all of these things that have been said, I know a lot of you can relate, that have been said to you that has kind of, put not a bad taste in your mouth in regards to therapy, but that has kind of pushed you away from seeking therapy. And honestly, it ain't nothing wrong with therapy. I tell people that all the time, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with therapy, because therapy can be, it doesn't necessarily have to be you just sitting down and speaking to someone. Like, for me, yes, I talk to someone, but another portion of therapy for me is journaling. Like, I love to journal. Like, anybody that knows me knows that I love journals. I love journals. Love them, love them, love them. My coworkers would get them for me all the time when it came time for my birthday, Christmas, they would get me journals because they know, and I use them. I use them to write. I write in them, whether I keep them, for a to-do list. I have one, that I use when I go to church or when I'm taking notes in church. I have one that I use that I write down my daily thoughts every day. I have one that I use that I keep track of my fitness goals. So there are other things that are therapeutic. For some people or you, it may be, music. Some people, they like to sing, they play instruments, they listen to music. That's therapeutic for them. For others, therapy is, reading a book. For some, it may be, whatever your thing is, singing, drawing, art. Some people, that's therapeutic for them because it's something that they enjoy. They may not necessarily be able to articulate, like by communicating via words, you know how they're feeling, but you can feel that in their music, you can see that in their art, you can feel it when they dance. So it's just so many different things that you can do that are therapeutic for you. You don't necessarily have to sit down and talk to a therapist or a person. Therapy, talk to your friends. Like, I have friends that I know I could call right now, like, girl, let me tell you, like, this week has just been crazy for me. Like, there are friends that I have that I know that I could call if I'm really having like a horrible day. Like, I could call them and just express to them. I had a conversation with my best friend Christian the other day. I love him to death. Like, he has been my best friend since high school, will remain my best friend. I love him so much. And I had a genuine, real live conversation with him just yesterday about, how I had been feeling like mentally and what had been going on with me. And he listened to me. He gave me advice and everything. That can be therapeutic. Just talking to a friend, talking to somebody, a coworker, a pastor, whatever, somebody that you feel like you can trust. That is therapeutic. But there are other ways. But, for me, I just like talk to a therapist. And for you, that may be for you. It may not be for you. You just have to find what fits for you. But I definitely think that it's very important that you have some type of place where you can release those feelings and release the things that you may be thinking about or that you may be going through. Because, when you are alone with your thoughts, and then this is kind of leewaying into what my week has, this past week has been, excuse me. When you are alone, like with your own thoughts and in your own head, like that can, like your mind can take you to places that will leave you like in a dark space for so long, because you're isolating yourself and you're putting yourself in a place where, you kind of don't want to let anybody in, and you're just thinking about these things on a daily basis. And it's just kind of feel like you're alone in your mind, like an island unto yourself. And then things like that will definitely affects you. Like, it's definitely a study. And I know a lot of people have talked about it. Like, what is it? About being in, when you go to jail and then they put you in, what is it called? When they put you in the cell, like, by yourself. Oh, God. They call it solitary. They put you in solitary. And there are like major psychological effects, like just being in solitary. I don't even think it may be like after 24 hours or 48 hours. I have to look it up and post it. But like being in solitary for like a long time, that affects you mentally. Like some people, it's been said like that is even like what's the word? It's like a type of punishment where it's like unfit. Like, I'm trying to think. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I feel like Like, people have said that putting people in solitary confinement is, like, barbaric. It's kind of like inhumane. That's the word. It's inhumane, because you being alone in your thoughts and being by yourself and not being around people, that affects you so much psychologically. Like, you start hallucinating. You start like literally losing your mind. Like, they have placed people in solitary probably for like maybe 2 or 3 days, and they had already started like seeing the effects of how being alone by yourself for 3 days straight, that takes a toll on you psychologically. Now imagine, of course, we are in a pandemic, and like some people are dealing with that now. They are dealing with the isolation in their mind, and they're literally losing their mind because they are alone. They are away from people. That's why, interaction, and, a lot of people are like, I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to be around you. Put my mask on. Okay, yeah, that's all good and fine. But at the end of the day, deep down inside, I feel like everybody knows, like, there has to be some type of human interaction, because if not, like, we're gonna go crazy. But yeah, so like this last week has definitely been hard for me mentally. I have been alone. My husband is here. He's not out on deployment, but during the days, I'm alone. My son goes to daycare. My husband goes to work. So I'm at home literally like by myself. And then these last 2 days, I honestly cannot tell you what happened. I just started finding myself to be like in a dark place. Like the thoughts that would come into my mind, like of course I'm in school and things like that, and I have things and goals that I want to achieve, but it was just kind of like thoughts kept coming into my mind like, oh well, I'm not going to be able to achieve this, or, or you're not a good wife because you don't do this, or you're not a good mother because you don't do this for your child, or you don't talk to your child like this, or you don't do that. Now, mind you, like, this is something that I dealt with on my own. Like, I didn't really tell anybody about it because, everybody, I guess, I don't know. I just didn't want to tell anybody about it. Like, people go through things sometimes and they just want to keep it to themselves. And I felt like I had it under control. Like, I felt like that, everybody has thoughts here and there, but it's all about how much you dwell on them. But I can honestly tell you, I don't know what happened, because the day before yesterday, Friday? It might have been, it was Saturday. Saturday, I literally had to go get in my car, and I drove around, didn't know where I was going. I drove around, then I ended up at a park up the street from my house. And I literally had to sit there and just I just was sitting there in my car. I was in my car. It was other people out there at the park or whatever. It was at night, but it was people out there. I don't know why. But I was there. I was sitting in the parking lot and I was in my car, and I just had to just kind of bring myself back, because I had allowed myself to get so far in my mind mentally with negative thoughts and negativity, that it was taking a toll on me. Like, that week before, the days following up to Saturday, I really was, and then nothing happened to me. That's the crazy thing about it. Like, nothing happened to me that caused me to feel, I guess, that way. But it was just a lack of motivation. It was a lack of wanting to do it. I didn't want to do anything. Literally, I would get up, get myself together, and then I would drop my son off at daycare, and I would come home. I would drop him off at daycare. It would be 9 o'clock. I would drop him off at daycare, and then I would come home, and then I would eat. Now, mind you, his daycare is up the street, so I would drop him off at 9 o'clock. I probably got back home at 9:05, 9:10. It's literally up the street. So I would eat. By 9:30, I would be going back to sleep, and then I would sleep until 3 o'clock that afternoon. That's how bad it was. I didn't want to deal with nothing. I didn't really want to talk to nobody. People was texting me, I would respond, and then nothing was wrong with me. I just didn't have no motivation. I didn't have no motivation to do anything. I just wanted to sleep. And that's when, after having a conversation with my best friend yesterday, he was like, you just got to get back in a routine. You have to get back in a routine. You have to start doing things, that you used to do, that you like to do. You need to start getting up. You need to go to the gym. You need to start doing Thoughtful Thursday again. He started naming these things because it was just, I feel it was the idleness of my mind. Just being idle, not having anything to do, nothing, nowhere to go, nothing, not having anything, no motivation, no nothing. It was the idleness of my mind. I feel that caused me to go into that dark place. And of course, everybody say idle mind is the devil's workplace. That's why you constantly have to keep positivity around you. You constantly have to, speak positive things. You constantly have to, keep your mind going, keep working towards whatever it is. If you have goals, whatever, just keep going, because the moment that you become idle, that is your mind can go anywhere. Your mind can do anything. And that's not good. That's not healthy. That's how some people commit suicide. That's how some people, they start going crazy. They start killing people. It's just so many things. When you allow your mind to sit idle for so long, it's going to be filled with something. It's going to have to be filled with something, and it may not be the positive thoughts that it needs to be filled with. So, I said all that to say, create a routine for yourself, because I am getting back in my routine. I'm getting back in my routine, going to the gym. I'm starting back off for Thursday, doing my schoolwork, things like that. But create a routine for yourself, and just create a positive environment for yourself. It's definitely important. Your mental health is definitely important, because I feel if you are off mentally, you aren't able to think properly. You aren't able to think clearly. You're not able to make, sound decisions when you are mentally, not there. And that's not good. That's not healthy. So I guess my takeaway, or, from this Thoughtful Thursday would be, maintain a positive environment, maintain a positive attitude, a positive mindset. That takes you a long way. Create those relationships that bring joy, with your friends. Have those conversations with your friends. Your friends aren't supposed to judge you. If I feel like my friend's gonna judge me, I wouldn't have called him. Like, and that's just what it is. Like, you have to find somebody that you can trust, that you can confide in, that you are cool with being vulnerable with, and that, you know, they're cool with being vulnerable with you. Because there's been plenty of times where, you know, I've called Christian about something, and I know he probably gonna be like, why is she talking about me in this video? I mean, like, because I want to. Okay, there's been plenty of times where I done called Christian about some stuff. Listen, and there's been plenty of times where he has called me, and I have, you know, we've sat there and we have helped each other, and that's healthy. Create those positive relationships. Create a positive routine, whether that's, even if it's something small, waking up in the morning and reading a devotional. I got this book. This is actually my therapist. She has this book. I bought it off of Amazon, and it is it's Confidence is Key, Daily Reflections and Devotionals. It's a 21-day devotional, and you can order it. If you want to order it, you can order it off of Amazon, and that's where I got it from. But it's a 21-day devotional. It's biblical. So she has scriptures at the beginning. It's scriptures, and then it's kind of a small, like, if you can see, like, it'll have like a scripture at the top, and then it'll have like a little breakdown. And then, like, on the next page, like you can see on this page, it'll have a question, and it'll ask you, like, in regards to whatever day you're on, it'll ask you, like, your questions, like, questions for you to answer. Like, you can do something like that. You can get you a devotional, you know, and it doesn't have to be biblical. It can be whatever, you know, you want it to be. I know there are different ones made for different purposes. But get a devotional. If you want to, you know, you can do a devotional I have the Bible app on my phone that I do devotionals for. Do that. If it's something small, just waking up, you know, in the morning and just spending 5 minutes drinking your coffee, tea, whatever, and just listening to music or listening to a podcast. Like, find something that jolts your morning with positivity and sets you on the right path, because that's definitely something that I have been doing here lately. Well, I just started today, honestly, but it's helped. Like, my day today has been awesome. I went to the gym. I went to drop Jace off. I went to the gym. I came home and I went to the store because, you know, I'm trying to be healthy. So I had to get my healthy food, you know, and I did that. And, you know, then I had some stuff I had to do for school. But today has definitely been a great day for me. So I would definitely encourage you, you know, find something. It's the small things that add up. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, you know. Just find something that works best for you. So, thank you guys for tuning in to Thoughtful Thursday. I know it was a little long today. It was just kind of like a spur of the moment type of thing. I definitely did not plan anything for this, but I definitely felt like it was time to start Thoughtful Thursday back up again, because I know you all missed your girl, Kira T. And I missed y'all too. I'm not even going to front. I'm not going to flex. Not going to flex. I did miss y'all too. I missed doing these because I felt like they were therapeutic for me. And they were helpful for you all. Shoot, they was helpful for me too. I be having to go back like, girl, you need to take your own advice. You up here trying to tell somebody, you know, this is what they need to do, honey. You need to take your own advice. So, yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like this video and share this video with someone, you know, that may benefit. Don't forget, create that positive routine. Set yourself up for success this week. Every single day that you wake up, set yourself up for success. And that's all I got. Peace.